All right, welcome back to the channel. So the young man out of the UK, Daniel Dubois, who would have destroyed Deontay Wilder in the first round, gets completely exposed and knocked out by the slowest heavyweight in the history of heavyweight boxing, and by his jab. Slow Joe Joyce knocks out Daniel Dubois. You know I'm about to read y'all the riot act for this one, right? Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back. So, man, it is just interesting how skilled fighters who are going to take over the heavyweight division, who are night and day, head and shoulders above Deontay Wilder and his terrible amateur skill set. It's amazing how these guys wind up getting knocked out by the most simple of punches. Now, and that is a jab, a single jab. That's it. Beat Daniel Dubois. One punch, a jab. Boop, 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 boop. Right on his eyeball till it swole up and he couldn't take the pain anymore, took a knee, and called it a day. Now, do I feel bad for Daniel Dubois and feel like Daniel Dubois will never make it and never be a champion? No, I do not. He's a very young man, right? He's a very young man, and if he does some things, I think he can be back in the mix, and he can definitely be a very, very solid, if not a heavyweight champion. But the first thing he's going to have to do is stop listening to clowns and go get you an American trainer, because the guy that was in your corner was absolutely terrible. And the guy and whoever taught you how to hold your hands out like this, 4 inches away from your chin, right? Not a guard like this, but a guard like this where a guy can come right between it, boop, right to your eyeball. Maybe they should have worked with you on that. Also, now, I'm not, a world-class boxer, but I also know that there's something called a parrying of the jab. Stick your hand out and catch it. Slow Joyce is Slow Joyce. That jab was starting out here, and the reason it got there so fast, is because he held it way out in front. However, if you do something like this, when he punches every once in a while, catch his jab, knock his jab down. It's the only punch he's throwing. But yet, Daniel Dubois couldn't make that simple adjustment, which, by the way, you see Deontay Wilder doing all of the time. You know how when you see Deontay Wilder's hands out here like this, and it looks like, wow, sloppy? Dude, when his hands are out like this, he's knocking your jab down. He's knocking your right hand down. He's pushing this down. His hands are out there doing this for a reason. And guess who did not have that skill set? Daniel Dubois, which is why Daniel Dubois got beat up by Slow Joyce and had his whole career derailed because he couldn't defend a jab. It was amazing. And all of you boxing guys, all of the knowledgeable boxing historians and the diehard technique guys that were talking about Daniel Dubois in such glowing terms, you missed that he doesn't know how to deal with a jab. The first time he fights somebody the same height or the taller than him, he can't deal with a jab. A jab stops him. Not a jab followed by a jab that missed, followed by a guillotine hold and a lift. What do you call it? The neck guillotine, and then a shot to the lungs. Not that dirty type of stuff. No, just a simple boop. Boop. I don't even think Joe Jab turned his hand over. I just think he was bop, 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 right in that eye. Not even a good bop. Just a bop right in the eye. Terrible. Now, let's get to it. Accomplishments matter. Daniel Dubois is not anywhere near the level of fighter as Deontay Wilder. He's not. And you know how you know that? Not because of what you see when he's hitting heavy bags or when he's fighting guys that he should be blowing out. What does he do when he fights somebody, when he steps up in competition? The first time Daniel Dubois stepped up in competition, he got his eye dang near knocked out of socket by a jab. Results matter. Wins matter. If Daniel Dubois was such a big puncher with the shots that he hit Joe Joyce with, something should have wobbled Joe Joyce. Something should have gave, maybe he did wobble Joe Joyce maybe like 1 or 2 times. But still, it doesn't matter. If all Joe Joyce has to do is sit there and punch you in the eye any and every time he wants to with his jab. Deontay Wilder was not given credit for people for actually winning fights. He got to 42-0. What is it? What was he? 41-0-1 before he fought Tyson Fury, and they cheated the dude so bad. It was it's otherworldly. Literally, I've got a multi-part series on all the cheating Tyson Fury did in that fight. Throughout his career. But that's what it took to beat Deontay Wilder. What did it take to beat the guy that you guys were saying was so much better than him, that was otherworldly, would knock him out right now? What did it take to beat him? A jab. What do you think would happen with Danny Dubois against Luis Ortiz? To tell you the truth, I'm not completely convinced that Danny Dubois is beating Charles Martin, because I don't think Joe Joyce beats Charles Martin. That guy, Danny Dubois, is a domestic level UK fighter. That's what it is. Now, as long as people continue to just look and listen to what media people have to say about fighters, this type of thing will continue. But the media in the UK, the media in the United States find a way to completely disregard people's actual accomplishments, but wanting to find a way to blow prospects up through the roof. I was actually watching Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce on ESPN in the middle of the afternoon thinking, man, what a good fight. I can't wait to see this fight. Yeah. And then we wind up seeing that Daniel Dubois is nothing but a novice. That he was nothing but a hype job that doesn't even know how to block a jab. Now, what Daniel Dubois should do in the future is this. He should fire his coach immediately, because I was listening in the corner. Daniel Dubois' coach said nothing to him about what specifically to do to prevent. I keep making this whole video. This whole video is about this guy getting punched in the eye by a jab, like over and over and over again. But his the guy's trainer didn't even have enough common sense to say, hey, man, dude, knock down the jab. Just keep your hand out there. He's throwing one punch. He's just trying to hit you with the jab. Just block the jab. Block the jab. Block the jab. Man, hey, Daniel, how about you just try to block maybe 1 out of 6 of the jabs, okay? If it's not just one, dude, it's not just moving your head off the line. Like, he wasn't even – now, and there you go, too. Neither one of those dudes were getting there, moving their head left or right. But it is what it is. We're in the age of the tall heavyweight, right? Where as long as you're taller than anybody and you can throw straight punches, you should win the fight because you're taller than they are. And there is no infighting, right? So, like, every time Danny Dubois tried to get on the inside and maybe try to mix it up against Joe Joyce, what Joy Joyce do? Grabbed him, held him, walked him, pushed him, and shoved him all the way back to the other side. As if there's anything legal about that in the sport of boxing, dude. You're not supposed to grab somebody and walk them across the lane. But, that's the way that they judge these fights with these tall heavyweights. And I guess Joe Joyce was just the shorter of the taller heavyweights. And the way that boxing is going to be, the way that the fights are going to be judged or refereed is that, hey, man, if you're the taller guy, you've got the ref's going to keep you at range, keep you from fighting inside, and you're going to win the fight. But anyway, man, I don't know what else to say about this hype job, Daniel Dubois, other than, dude, please go to the United States, go find yourself a trainer, and I'm not even sure if Daniel Dubois beats Ife Ajagba. Like, I'm not even sure if he fights Ife Ajagba. And I'm not sure at all if he beats Jared Anderson. I think Jared Anderson might actually get the guy. But anyway, man, Pop goes the hype job. Frank Warren, and that's pretty much the hype job on the UK heavyweights because everybody else is old. Like, you got who's your next generation of heavyweights coming in out of the UK? Because Danny Dubois just went bye-bye. And Nathan Gorman, we'll see. But anyway, this is a UK video I didn't want to do. However, I did have to just rub it in just a little bit that this guy that you say is so much better than Deontay Wilder and has so much more skills got knocked out and beat up with a jab. One punch over and over and over again till he quit. Ridiculous. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think. And with that, I'm out. Peace.